The galaxy had grown complacent for centuries. Peace had become the default condition in a universe. Once torn by war after war, the alien empires expanded, slowly moving from one star system to another. Their dominance seemed unshakable. No one feared the small planet in the distant corner of the Milky Way that had once called itself Earth. Humanity had been forgotten. The very idea that the people of Earth could ever challenge the might of the galaxy's most powerful races had become laughable with every passing decade. Those who had once witnessed Earth's violent expansion had either died or been swept into obscurity, the Terran Empire long gone, erased from history, and scattered to the farthest reaches of forgotten space. The galaxy's elite looked down at Earth as a dying relic of a bygone era. The humans who remained on the planet were fragmented, isolated in small colonies, scattered across a world left to rebuild after its violent past. The Earth of today was nothing like it had been before peace reigned in the city-states that dot its surface. Humanity had seemingly grown soft, had become content with simple survival. There were no great wars, no uniting forces, no expansion of the human race beyond its fragile atmosphere. Yet beneath the surface, beneath the veneer of peace, something was stirring, something ancient, something long hidden. The remnants of Earth's forgotten greatness were beginning to awaken, buried in secret vaults deep underground and hidden away in remote corners of the planet were the tools of a power that had once threatened the stars, ships that could move faster than light, weapons of unimaginable destruction, and technology long abandoned by the rest of the galaxy. Because of its dangerous potential, the humans who had never truly forgotten their past watched silently as the galaxy grew comfortable in its own supremacy. But there were whispers in the dark. The surviving factions, the ones who still held the remnants of humanity's strength, gathered in hidden places. They knew the time would come when they would have to remind the galaxy who they were and what they could do. When the time came, they would not be weak, they would not be helpless, they would rise again. They would show the stars that humanity had never truly fallen. Deep beneath the surface of Earth, the secret factions of humanity's last remaining military and scientific minds worked tirelessly, their hands stained with the remnants of forgotten technology. They were the keepers of the past, the guardians of Earth's lost potential. Their eyes were fixed on ancient blueprints that had been buried for centuries deep in forgotten archives. Their minds focused on the task that had brought them together, the rebuilding of the greatest weapon humanity had ever known. No one else in the galaxy knew the scope of what had been hidden away beneath the planet's surface. No one knew the true strength that still lay dormant in the very bones of Earth. Those who worked in the underground facilities were driven by one singular purpose: to restore humanity's former glory, to rise from the ashes of history and reclaim their rightful place among the stars. The work was not easy. It was a slow and dangerous process. Many of the technologies they sought to revive were centuries ahead of anything currently known to the galaxy. Their efforts often met with failure, but each failure brought them closer to their goal, and every success brought them one step closer to awakening the sleeping giant that was Earth. Many of the engineers and scientists were descendants of the old military factions. They were trained in the ways of warfare, their minds tuned to the precise needs of battle. Each of them understood the importance of their work. They knew that their people were not as weak as the galaxy had been led to believe. The resources they had at their disposal were meager, yet their determination was boundless. Each day they made progress in secret. They rebuilt warships from forgotten designs that had once been the backbone of the Terran Empire, ships that could bend space itself and tear apart fleets with a single strike. They reactivated ancient AI systems capable of coordinating battles on a scale that no living mind could ever hope to match. In secret, they trained commanders who would lead humanity's fleet back into the stars, warriors who had learned from the failures of the past and honed their skills to perfection. But they also knew the risks. Their enemies, the alien races that once ruled the stars, had forgotten Earth. And if they ever learned the truth, humanity's return would be the galaxy's greatest nightmare. One fateful day, the signal was sent, a single pulse of energy that rippled across the stars. The message was brief, but powerful enough to reach the ears of every major race in the galaxy. It wasn't a warning, it wasn't a plea for help, it was simply a statement of fact, and it carried with it an unmistakable sense of authority. The message came from the coordinates of Earth, a place most had long forgotten, and a place the galaxy's rulers had assumed was nothing more than a dusty memory. The words were simple, they echoed through the void like a ghost from the past. "We are coming, no more, no less." That the power of the message lay not in its words, but in the energy that accompanied it. The aliens who received the signal scoffed at first. They laughed at the audacity of the humans who dared to think they could reclaim their place in the galaxy. It had been centuries since the fall of the Terran Empire, since humanity had been relegated to the fringes of the known universe. But the power behind the message was undeniable. It was a signal of defiance, a statement of intent. The galaxy's leaders ignored it at their own peril. They had grown comfortable in their power. They had been at peace for so long that they no longer feared anything from the edges of known space. The message from Earth was a mere curiosity at first. They assumed it was a mistake, an accidental transmission from an unknown source. But when the second pulse came, it was clear this was no mistake. This was a deliberate act, a declaration that Earth was no longer a forgotten backwater world, and that the humans who had once conquered the stars were preparing to return. The first few hours passed in disbelief as officials across the galaxy scrambled to respond to this new threat. But no one knew what to do. The Terran Empire had vanished into history, with no trace left behind. The ships that had once carried Earth's might were now long gone, reduced to relics scattered across the galaxy or buried deep within the planet itself. Yet here it was, the unmistakable signal from Earth, and it could only mean one thing: the humans were back. The galaxy's elite were unprepared for what came next. Without warning, Earth's fleet appeared at the edges of known space. It was as though the void itself had been torn open, and from it emerged ships of unimaginable size, sleek dark vessels that seemed to consume the light around them. The very sight of them sent ripples of panic through the alien fleets. These were not the ships they had expected to see. They were not clunky or outdated. They were advanced far beyond anything the galaxy's empires had ever built. The first fleet arrived in silence, their movements precise and methodical. No extravagant fanfare, no transmission, no diplomacy, just a silent presence at the edge of their territories. The aliens watched in stunned disbelief as the ships glided past their outer defenses undetected, and without warning Earth's fleet was within their borders. And they were not alone. More ships followed in the wake of the first arrival, each one a dark shadow, moving in perfect synchronization, a force that seemed to defy logic. The alien governments had dismissed Earth for so long that they never even considered the possibility that humans could possess such power, and yet there it was before their eyes, a fleet that moved with an authority they had never seen before. They scrambled to react, but their response was slow and clumsy. They sent scouts to investigate the human ships, to understand what they were dealing with. But the scouts never returned. In their place came a single transmission. It was simple, that the message it carried was clear: "We are here." No threats, no promises, just the cold reality that humanity had returned, and they had no intention of leaving. The galaxy's powers watched in growing panic. The ships of Earth were everywhere. They moved swiftly and without hesitation, their every action calculated for maximum efficiency. They were not here to negotiate. They were not here to ask for permission. They were here to remind the galaxy of who they were and what they were capable of. The humans had not come to beg for a seat at the table. They had come to take what was theirs. With a single movement, Earth's fleet dismantled an alien defense fleet that had once been considered invincible. They struck with such ferocity that no one even had time to react. The sheer power of humanity's ships left the aliens in shock as Earth's fleet began to push deeper into their territories. The first strike was swift and devastating. The alien fleets had no chance to react before Earth's ships tore through them with a brutal precision that left their forces shattered in moments. There was no mercy in the attack, no room for negotiation. The humans had come not as a force of diplomacy, but as an unstoppable tide sweeping through the stars. The weapons aboard the human ships were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Their technology was far beyond the most advanced alien designs. They wielded weapons that could slice through shields and armor, as though they were paper. Entire fleets of alien ships vanished in a single barrage, the shockwaves of the explosions reverberating across the galaxy. But it wasn't just the firepower that struck fear into the hearts of the alien commanders. It was the methodical approach that humanity took, each move deliberate, each strike calculated. Earth's fleet didn't waste resources or time. They knew exactly what they wanted, and they took it with ruthless efficiency. The galaxy's great powers watched in horror as the human ships moved with an almost terrifying purpose. It was clear that they were not here to negotiate, nor were they here to demand. They were here to reclaim their place among the stars, and they would not be stopped. One by one, the alien fleets fell. Some attempted to regroup, but it was too late. Earth's ships had already overwhelmed their defenses, and now the humans were setting their sights on the most crucial worlds in the galaxy, the seat of power, the heart of alien dominion. No one had anticipated such a force emerging from Earth. The galaxy's rulers had been content to dismiss the humans as a fading relic of the past, but now they had no choice but to confront the brutal truth. Humanity had not only survived, they had thrived. They had become something far more dangerous than anyone could have imagined. The galaxy had underestimated Earth, and now they were paying the price. The first strike was just the beginning. As Earth's fleet pushed deeper into alien space, it was clear to everyone watching that humanity was no longer the weak underdog they had once been. They had returned to remind the galaxy who they truly were, and this time, no one would be able to stop them. The galaxy's great powers scrambled to respond to the sudden and violent appearance of Earth's fleet, but their reactions were disjointed and panicked. Their once unified fronts crumbled as each race struggled to figure out how to combat the human threat. The initial shock of Earth's strike left entire sectors in chaos. The alien leaders had no idea where to start or how to proceed. Some called for a swift counterattack. Others pleaded for diplomacy, believing that Earth's return was a mistake or a misunderstanding. They sent messengers to the human fleet hoping to reason with them, but the humans had no interest in talks or parley. Their message was clear and unyielding. We are here to reclaim what is ours. The alien powers watched helplessly as the humans tore through their defenses with brutal ease. They had underestimated Earth for too long, and now their arrogance was coming back to haunt them. The strength of Earth's fleet was undeniable. Its precision and coordination left no room for error. Their ships moved in perfect harmony, with no gaps in their formations, no sign of weakness. The alien forces that tried to regroup and defend were shattered in moments, and the once proud fleets that had been hailed as the pinnacle of galactic power were reduced to nothing but debris floating in the vacuum of space. As the humans pushed further into alien territory, the galaxy's governments began to fracture. Alliances that had held for centuries splintered into competing factions. Some alien races panicked and fled to the outer reaches of the galaxy, hoping to escape the inevitable oncoming wave. Others tried to strike back with whatever forces they could muster, but the humans' relentless advance was unstoppable. As the conflict escalated, Earth's fleet began to send a message to each of the remaining powers: we do not seek to destroy, we seek to reclaim our place in the galaxy. Yet the message fell on deaf ears. As the galaxy's great powers tried to maintain control of the situation, they began to see the futility of resistance. The humans were too strong, too united, and too relentless. They had been underestimated, and now they were paying the price as humanity's fleet crushed one defense after another. It became clear that Earth was no longer a forgotten relic of history. They were the new force to be reckoned with. As Earth's fleet continued its relentless march through alien space, the galaxy's leaders began to realize the true scope of the threat they faced. The initial disbelief had turned to fear and desperation. They could no longer deny that humanity had returned, and they had no intention of playing by the rules that had governed the galaxy for centuries. The humans had made it clear they were not here to beg for a seat at the table. They were here to reclaim their place among the stars, and they would not stop until they had done so. The alien powers that once controlled vast swathes of the galaxy were now scrambling to respond, but their efforts were fragmented. Some sought to confront humanity head-on, believing that they could defeat the humans through sheer firepower, while others desperately called for negotiation, offering peace in exchange for Earth's retreat. But the humans had already made up their minds. They were not interested in peace talks or appeasement. Earth had been ignored for too long, and the time had come for the galaxy to learn that humanity was not weak. They were not the underdog they had once been, they were the predators now, and the galaxy was their prey in the face of this new reality. The alien leaders found themselves at odds with each other. The unity that had once held them together began to unravel as each faction turned inward, seeking to preserve their own power, rather than unite against the true threat that humanity now posed. The once proud empires that had dominated the galaxy were now fractured and weak, and their inability to act as a unified force left them vulnerable to the oncoming storm. The humans knew this, and they exploited it with ruthless efficiency. Earth's fleet continued to push deeper into the heart of alien-controlled space. Each victory made them stronger, each conquest solidified their dominance. They had come for respect, and they were getting it, but not in the way the galaxy's rulers had hoped. Humanity was not here to negotiate or compromise. They were here to remind the stars that Earth had not forgotten how to fight, and in doing so they would take everything that was once theirs, leaving nothing but ashes behind. The message was now clear for all to see. We are Earth, we are the reckoning, and we will not be ignored. As Earth's fleet continued its relentless advance, the galaxy's remaining powers were forced to confront the reality of their situation. Their once mighty empires were crumbling under the weight of humanity's return, and their futile attempts to resist only made their downfall inevitable. Those who had once ruled the stars with impunity now found themselves scrambling to put together desperate alliances. Some turned to their greatest enemies, hoping that their combined strength might stand a chance against Earth's overwhelming might. But it was too late. The humans had already proven that they could not be stopped. Earth's ships moved with a terrifying precision, dismantling one defense after another. With no mercy or hesitation, entire fleets that had once been considered invincible were reduced to smoldering wreckage in a matter of hours. The aliens tried to regroup. They sought new tactics, new weapons, but nothing they did could match the power and efficiency of the humans. Earth had learned from its past mistakes, and now it was stronger than ever. The human fleet was not just a force of destruction, it was a force of unity and purpose. Humanity had come together in a way the galaxy had never seen before. Their commanders were ruthless and efficient, their soldiers disciplined and relentless. They fought not for glory or conquest, but for the survival and the future of their people. They fought to show the galaxy that Earth was not a forgotten relic, but a force to be reckoned with, and now they had the power to prove it. As Earth's fleet moved deeper into alien space, the leaders of the galaxy's remaining empires began to realize the full extent of their failure. They had underestimated humanity for too long, and now they were paying the price. They sent emissaries to Earth in the hope of negotiating some kind of peace, but the humans had no interest in bargaining with those who had once ruled them with an iron fist. The message sent to the galaxy was simple and unyielding. Asterisk. We are not here to negotiate, we are here to reclaim what is ours, and we will not stop until we have done so. Asterisk. The humans had already proven that they could destroy any opposition, and now they were prepared to do whatever it took to ensure that their place among the stars was solidified once and for all.